How you doing, guys? I'm Fastidious, and welcome to my channel. This is the ultimate old school fusion guide for Raid Shadow Legends. Brogni Underpriest is less than 2 weeks away, and a lot of us are really excited. So this guide's going to be both immediately applicable to him and his fusion, but also all future old school style fusions. So, all that being said, here we go. Everything you need to know in under 9 minutes.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
So, in this video, I'm going to give you the cold hard numbers you need to know for an old school fusion. Also, I'll have some hot tips to make sure you guys can complete the fusion successfully, whether you're free to play or pay to win. But first, how exactly does an old school fusion work? In an old school fusion, you will collect 16 fusion rares, which together combine into 4 fusion epics, which finally fuse into your legendary fusion champion. Now, if we look at this diagram, you will see I have assumed equal affinity distribution. This is not always the case. In a fusion like Ascension, we had 4 Lodric's, 4 Spirit Affinity Epic Champions. In a fusion like Pixneal, this was the case, a perfectly even affinity distribution. For simplicity, that's what I'm showing here. So we're going to have 16 rares, 4 of each kind of affinity, Magic, Spirit, Void, and Force. They will all be leveled to level 40 and level 4 of Ascension. Then you'll fuse them all together and you'll be left with 4 epics. These will be of the 4 different affinities. You'll bring those 4 epics to level 50 and level 5 of Ascension. Then finally, together, they all fuse to create your legendary champion. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's talk numbers. So how much food do you need for an old school fusion? The avatar pictured here, we've got Incubus. Incubuses or Incubi are going to be our stand-ins for this video for food champions. This is a farmable uncommon from stage 12 in the campaign, really popular choice to use as food for a lot of players. Now, in total, you will need 112 3-star food champions to complete the fusion. You'll see the little asterisk here. This is assuming no chickens. You know, that number is going to vary for each and every player, so we're just going to pretend we have none. 112 3-star food champions, that's a ton. You'll see all our Incubi here. Visualize, that's a tremendous amount. You will need 48 of these 3-star food champions to rank up your 16 fusion rares to rank 4. So those 16 fusion rares, you're going to level them up to 30, then each of them will get 3 3-star food champions to bring them to rank 4. So 16 times 3, we've got 48. You will need 64 3-star food champions to rank up your 4 fusion epics to rank 5. These are going to be used to create the 16 4-star food champions that you need to rank up the epics. 16 of these 64 3-star food champions will be leveled to level 30. The remaining 48, again 3 times 16, will be used to bring them to rank 4. So 16 plus 48, that's our 64 3-star food champions. And finally, the 16 4-star food champions that we've now made will be used to rank up the 4 fusion epics to rank 5. Now continuing with the numbers here, Ascension Potions. This is a really hard part in a lot of old school fusions for a lot of players. How many Ascension Potions do you need for an old school fusion? Guys, it's a lot. Total Ascension Potions needed, asterisk here again, we're still assuming equal affinity distribution, but this is not the case for every fusion, so make sure you check before you just farm like crazy. So, for Arcane Potions, you'll need 80 Lesser Potions, 108 Greater Potions, 12 Superior Potions. Then for the 4 affinities, Force, Magic, Spirit, and Void, the numbers are all going to be the same. 40 Lesser, 36 Greater, 6 Superior. So the grand total for the whole fusion to bring up all your fusion rares and fusion epics, we've got 240 Lesser Potions, 252 Greater Potions, and 36 Superior Potions. This is a lot, guys. This is a hard effort to complete. Let's break it down. For our 16 fusion rares, to bring them to level 4 or rank 4 of Ascension, we will need both Lesser Potions and Greater Potions. From the Arcane Keep, we will need 80 Lesser Potions and 48 Greater Potions. Then from our Affinity Keeps, again, the numbers are all the same. 40 Lesser Potions and 16 Greater Potions. This gives us a grand total of 240 Lesser Potions and 112 Greater Potions. Now for our 4 fusion epics, to bring them to level 5 or rank 5 of Ascension, we will need Greater Potions and Superior Potions. From the Arcane Keep, we will need 60 Greater Potions and 12 Superior Potions. Then again, for our Affinity Keeps, we will need 20 Greater Potions and 6 Superior Potions. This gives us a total of 140 Greater Potions and 36 Superior Potions. So just to recap, we will need 240 Lesser Potions, 252 Greater Potions, 36 Superior Potions. This is a ton, guys. You're going to collect the champions you need for the fusion through events and tournaments. But which events and tournaments are actually in an old school fusion? So first off, events. They're listed here on the left. Feel free to pause and take a look. I'm going to focus on the right. We've got the point thresholds to actually win these champions. and you'll notice I'm using the Astralon Fusion totals. This was our most recent old school style fusion, so I think this is our best source of comparison on what we might expect for the upcoming ones. So here in blue, we've got all the point totals needed for the events to win a rare champion. You'll notice there's one purple number, a single solitary purple. That is a chance to win an epic champion. It's at 3,000 points in the summon rush. Next up, we've got the tournaments listed on the left. Feel free to pause again. I'm focusing on the right. These are our point thresholds to win the champions, again using Astralon totals. So you'll see there's just one purple number again. So all the blue numbers, the points you're going to need to win rare champions from the tournaments, and then the one purple, you'll notice it's another champion acquisition style event. It's the champion chase at 2,500 points. So if you can win an epic, that's great. It will save you a huge investment, a lot of resources that you'd have to put in to leveling up, ranking up, and ascending the rare champions to create that epic. However, they come in two of the hardest kinds of events, these champion acquisition events. These are really a barrier for a lot of players, particularly free-to-play and low spenders. Finally, I've got some smoking hot tips for you guys. Some of these might seem obvious, some of these are a bit more nuanced. However, I think all of them will be useful and helpful in making sure you are a success in completing any old school fusion. First off, save and gather. Hoard as many resources as you possibly can. You're going to want to save as much energy, gems, XP boosts, things like this to put yourself in the best position in things like campaign farming and dungeon tournaments that might be happening during a fusion event. And then when you can, push in the events and tournaments leading up to the actual fusion. This will allow you to collect as many chickens and shards so that you're really ready to go. Next up is prepare. Build out your food, farm Ascension keeps, and set up potential fusions. What do I mean by all this? So we know we're going to need 112 3-star food champions. That is a ton if we don't use any chickens. So build out as many of these 3-star food champions, whether you're using incubi, incubuses, or anything else. The more 3-star champions you have lined up, the easier this whole thing's going to be for you. Next up, I'd say farm the Ascension keeps as much as you can. Just a little bit each day if you can for arcane and then whatever affinity is present that day. That would go a long way. Start building up your stockpile of potions. It will make your life way easier. And finally, if you can, prepare as many fusions so that you can perform very well in the champ chase. Now, what do I mean by this? We've got fixed fusions in the game. Things like Rosin, all the epics that come under him, and then Broadma, a void epic champion. That's 350 points into champ chase, plus the 2 void rares that come under him, Arbalester and Stone Skin. That's 50 points. These are nothing to sneeze at. These points add up, and they're really useful in the champ chase. And honestly, I think as a free-to-play or low spender, one of the best ways you can be successful and have an easier time in an old school fusion is to go and get that epic through the champ chase. You can prepare for it. It takes work, but if you're there, it will save you a lot of resources, a lot of time, a big investment. Finally, this one's kind of obvious. A lot of people know it, but I have to spell it out for you. Look out for event synergies. You're going to get the most out of your energy by identifying synergistic opportunities between the different events and tournaments. Once that fusion calendar comes out, you can see where overlap exists, where there might be synergistic moments that lie in the fusion event. So let's use some examples. Champ training and artifact enhancement. This might not seem obvious at first, however, unless you're like late game, end game doing really well in the spider dungeon, the best way to raise silver is going to be campaign farming, which you're going to be doing for champ training. So if that comes just before or lines up even with an artifact enhancement, this is a great way to raise silver and make the artifact enhancement a lot easier. And then finally, let's end on an obvious one. Dungeon divers and dungeon tournaments. There's a complete overlap here with the artifacts you're acquiring to how the points are given to you. So every energy, you're basically getting doubling down, one in a tournament, one in an event. It makes your life a heck of a lot easier. Really hope that was helpful, guys, and for anyone who wants it, the full PDF of the guide will be available in the description of this video. Also, if you got any questions for me, feel free to hit me up on my Discord, the Fast and the Fastidious, on Twitch. I stream there almost every single day, or just in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Fastidious. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.